Mind Eco? What to love about that game, but one thing I think fondly of is the two characters holding hands. A small, tactile thing, but very human. Of course, it's a wee dude leading a helpless woman by the hand, so But now, A Plague Tale is here to let a capable big sister lead her wee brother by the hand. This game has rough edges and flaws, but that small touch is the defining characteristic of the game, the thing that stays with me after many hours. For a game about thousands of squirming, hungry rats, it's got a lot more humanity in it than monsters. A Plague Tale, Innocence, another in a long line of needless video game side titles, is a coming-of-age story where Amicia is the big sister looking after her wee brother Hugo in a medieval France overrun by a plague of man-eating rats. It's a grim, not seriously grim world, laughably so at times, but for the most part the game brings a rich atmosphere to this setting, with lovely foggy lighting and a remarkable attention to detail. Despite clearly lacking the budget of their AAA peers, A Plague Tale manages to be quite the looker throughout. The atmosphere trickles over into the frequently tense stealthy bits. All the mechanics of distraction are simple, but the way you have to avoid or manipulate the hordes of rats to overcome enemies gives it a lot of personality and leads to some genuinely inspired bits of design. Rats avoid the light, you see, so not only are you creating light sources, but you're manipulating existing ones, like trailing behind a patrolling guard to keep in the light. And the options you have grow over the game, with new tools for your slingshot coming into play, and each one significantly changes how you approach problems. Like I say, it's simplistic, but done well, and bolsters both the humans and rats as genuine threats. The trial and error of some sections grates, and there's a linearity to sections that means there's usually only a handful of right ways to tackle obstacles, but I think A Plague Tale sets expectations early that this isn't some thief-style sandbox extravaganza, but a tight, story-driven affair. A story which admittedly starts out predictably enough. Losing their family, Amicia must step up to look after her wee brother and mature along the way. You get the idea. But to the game's credit, the scope of that story expands considerably by the halfway point, and suddenly it's not just you and your wee brother, but a whole gang of lost children out to survive in this apocalypse-esque world. The script is, sadly, pretty inconsistent, varying between heavy-handed explanations of each development, and then definitely leaving a lot between the lines. The performances too are a mixed bag, sometimes drawing you right into a scene, and then at other times delivered so flat as to knock you out of the moment. It never lands as consistently as something like The Last of Us, a title it clearly evokes, and without that title's budget it doesn't have the kind of animation for those naturalistic performances either. But on heart alone it gets so far. And I cared about Amicia and Hugo and the other kids. And it's interesting watching them all struggle to be the adult in the room when we as the audience can see their immaturity all too clearly. But that naivety is sympathetic, and the struggle to make sense of their hellishly awful surroundings really compelling. Amicia initially tiptoeing around certain subjects for Hugo's sake, before eventually accepting she can't spare him the realities of the world, feels considered and avoids the cliché of the corrupted adult protecting the innocent child. Though Amicia's descent into desperation is something and all. Sure, it's all Tomb Raider reboot levels of, oh no, I've killed a person at the start, but the game makes a point of recognising her religious beliefs. For Amicia, saving her brother literally means damning herself for eternity. That's a big fucking deal for a teenager to deal with, and something I found quite powerful in a way I didn't with the game's other big showy symbolism moments. Most of those feel too obvious, too over the top. The mustache twirling villains throughout certainly don't help. I mean, for fuck's sake, they even have armour made out of spikes. But behind them are more considered arcs and bits of nuanced characterization. It's the kind of game that makes room for your wee brother showing you something with excitement, giving you a flower to wear in your hair out of affection. It's the kind of game that lets two young lassies share a series of dumb jokes to get through the horror of their situation. It's a game made with heart and care that far outshines its shortcomings. Like I say, it's flawed, it's not perfect, still simplistic, it doesn't quite hold up to the AAA games that it aspires to, and yet it's novel and well crafted enough that yeah, I really recommend it. A Plague Tale Innocence gets it's fucking well good for me.